Hi, it's Guy DiMartino. I'm a Northwest Indiana estate planning and probate lawyer. If you have any questions about an Indiana estate plan, probate matter, you can always give me a call. Or, easier for you, you can go online to indianaestatemeeting.com and set up an appointment either by phone, by video conference, or in person if necessary, and I'll be more than happy to discuss your concerns, questions, or needs. Today I would like to talk a little bit about one time where I always recommend a trust-based estate plan. See, typically there are two types or flavors of estate plans, and that would be a will-based estate plan and a trust-based estate plan. And they're not mutually exclusive, because a lot of times when we do a trust-based estate plan, we also do a will in case there was something that wasn't captured by the trust that could pour over after your passing and go into the trust. But the converse isn't true. If you do a will-based plan, you won't have a corollary trust there. So one time where it's always in the best interest of the folks to do a trust-based plan is when you own real estate in multiple states. And this is the reason why. Because it is real estate and it's in a particular state, it's going to be necessary in most states that in order to do something with that real estate after the person passes away, that something is going to have to be done in the probate court. Whether it's an ancillary probate proceeding or whether it is something else where you have to get court approval in order to go ahead and be able to dispose of that property. Let me give you a case in point. I'm currently a personal representative on a state that had property in multiple states. There was no trust out there, which I'll talk about in a moment, and so I had to sell property in multiple states, and in one state I had to go once the property was getting ready to be sold, I had to go and open up an ancillary estate or hire a lawyer in that state to open up an ancillary probate in order for us to get the legal authority to dispose of the property within that state. In another state, it was a similar procedure. You didn't have to open a full ancillary probate, but I had to retain a lawyer who had to file certain documents from the initial probate state, get approval from the court, and then pay some type of court tax in order to sell the property. And now in this state in which the properties have been sold, the money for the property can't leave the state for a certain period of time. Otherwise, the actual estate will have to pay for a bond in case there would be any claim against that property that might still be out there. So what is this caused was you have to deal with multiple states, multiple courts, multiple lawyers, which means multiple expenses. This would not have been necessary if all the properties were placed in this person's trust. You see, if all the properties were titled in the name of the trust, you wouldn't have to go through the probate court in order to get approval, because the trustee would have the legal authority under the trust document to go ahead and dispose of the property. So all you would have to do to show to the underwriting company or the company that's going to be making the loan or the title company would be a copy of the trust document giving the authority of the trustee, and the trustee would be able to sign all the necessary documents and prepare the necessary deed after the property is sold, and then the proceeds would be able to get funneled into the trust without having to go and deal with all these different court procedures. So if you have property in multiple states, it's usually a very good idea to discuss this with an estate planning lawyer, and you might want to think about putting the properties in a trust, because if something happens and you pass away, and we're all going to pass away at some point in time, it'll be easier for those who you want to have your stuff to dispose of your real property. If you have any questions about an Indiana estate planning matter, you can always give me a call. I am Guy DiMartino. Have yourself a great day.